This is the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Ever wish you could re-listen to your favorite interview or segment? Do you enjoy hearing older shows for the first time in years? Then the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less is just what you need. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Greetings, and welcome to this edition of the best moments of the BBQ Central Show in 10 minutes or less. Today's show comes from December the 17th, 2013. Donnie Bray, pitmaster, Warren County Pork Choppers. He's in catching up with Greg about the previous year's Team of the Year chase over KCBS. It is one of my favorite segments of all time. I really love the candor and openness of Donnie Bray, and the interaction with Greg is fantastic. Let's jump right into it. Here is Greg and Donnie Bray from December 17th, 2013.
Donnie Bray joining me here on the show. All right, Donnie, so we've got a bunch of different stuff here we can talk about. Obviously, you and Tim Grant involved in quite a heated Team of the Year race, as just led up a couple weeks ago down in Calhoun, Georgia. Maybe we could start there first. Either one of, if you win, you take Team of the Year. If Tim would have won outright, I guess that would have made for a little bit more of a dramatic win on his end. But nevertheless, he finishes, I forget the exact places now, a reserve grand, I think it was, and through the body of work over the course of the year, takes Team of the Year. As you look back on it, Team of the Year race, where are you? How were you with the finish at Calhoun? Was there any disappointment? From a competitor's aspect, how did you feel?
I wasn't really disappointed. I'll just say it like it is. The sun don't shine up one dog's ass all the time. So I'd had a really good run, and you just know it's going to happen. I didn't have a good cook. I wasn't on my game, and he was, and the cards fell where they were supposed to fall, I guess. So I really didn't have a major regret. I just, it would have been great if I could have conquered all, but the cards that were stacked up, it was just, it may have been a little bit more than mentally I could handle that way, but, and I choked. So, did I have it? I don't know. I mean, man, I tell you what, right there, that contest, Jim Berg, Scott Smith, all those guys in Georgia. And I'll say it. I think I've earned the right to say I cook from one end of this United States to the other, and that's the toughest group of people that there is. And to say, yeah, I'm gonna beat them, all of them, and Tim and Boyd. That's a big. I can't. I mean, that's just too much to swallow at one time without a keg of beer to wash it down.
Donnie Bray joining me here on the show, pitmaster, Warren County Pork Choppers. I guess when you talk to the top tier pitmasters, and obviously, certainly this year, you've proven yourself worthy of that praise. Typically, you don't hear guys just offer up the "I choked" in a competition type deal, but you went right to it. Were you embattled in the mind a little bit, thinking about what was at stake versus just trying to focus on the marks and hitting what you had done leading up into that contest?
I think a few things that I stumbled upon throughout the year that are just, like trying to like trying to stick a needle in a haystack type thing that I'd found. I don't feel like that I had my mind set to be able to reproduce those like I needed to. It's a very fine line. My whole thing I say is you got to learn how to cook it till it's done. So the perfect texture will get you further than any kind of a profile, flavor profile that's just would knock their socks off. And I think I missed that just a little bit. And I don't know, I was a little bit fatigued, and I don't know, just looking at it in my mind, looking back, it was, I did my best, and it was just one of those that wasn't 100%, and we just have those, but I don't have any regrets. I tell you, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I sort of missed Tim and Boyd. It was like I just felt like I stayed in bed with them all year. And it's like they become buddies. It's just the last couple of weeks I've missed that, of looking online to see how they did, knowing what I did. It was a wonderful thing to have a race that went down like that, and I didn't come out of it with any regrets whatsoever. I wouldn't have dreamed that I'd been that far. But it was a wonderful, wonderful thing, and I hope everybody that cooks barbecue gets a chance to experience what I did this year.
I know last year's team of the race with Dan Hickson was kind of down to the wire, but this year's race kind of harkened me back to the 2009 when you had Pellet Envy and Iowa Smoky D's and I Smell Smoke and this three-way going down to Arizona to battle it out at the end. And, of course, Rod Gray ends up winning that in Team of the Year in 2009. And this one kind of had a similar flavor to it, all leading down to that final event. Looking at it, kind of pulling yourself out of the pitmaster's view, how exciting was it to be in that at the last event, knowing that really it all kind of hung in the balance?
I don't know if I can reproduce the excitement. I feel like I had the best seat in the house. Tim had his runs, I had my runs. We stayed relatively neck and neck. I know that a few things I learned from 2013 I'm taking into 2014. I had said, I need a break. I don't believe my smoker had cooled off, and I felt like I was ready to go again. So we'll be back in Lakeland, Florida, trying to reproduce something. I'll say this in trying to keep it to where I'm not beating on anybody, but I really hope that the Midwest. I hope that they would try to hold Tim back a little bit, because I know that over here in the Southeast, there's some guys that are really picked up and got strong at the end of this season, and I know they're going to make it hard on me. And I don't think, Tim and I may have had our only day, but I know that he'll be back going strong at it, and I'll be going back strong at it. But I know there's a few more teams that's probably got the ammunition that they need to make their run. So we may be playing second string to them, but I had such a good time. To answer your question, I'm going to give my whole heart and soul to try to get back in the game for 2014.
Donnie Bray joining me here on the show, pitmaster of Warren County Pork Choppers. WarrenCountyPorkChoppers.com, the website as well. You can visit there. Donnie, you'd mentioned a little bit earlier you'd cooked from one side of the country to the other side. You're in Kentucky. I guess to some, its own region of barbecue, not the traditional meccas that you would consider when you're looking at the barbecue regions, but certainly a whole kind of a niche barbecue market, Kentucky, the mutton and so forth. Let me ask you this. As you cross the country, were you cooking specific flavor profiles for where you were at, or was it the same regardless, east to west and north to south?
It was the same. What I think part of my success was toning down a profile, focusing more on the consistency of the meat, of what it would be. You hear judges say it all the time. I couldn't taste the meat. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. So, some of those judges, not to hammer on them, their glass is half empty and not half full.
I'll tell you, a lot has changed in competition barbecue in the last 6-7 years. But these old segments with these pit masters of great, man, there's so much knowledge in there that still applies today. Head over to the BBQCentralShow.com to check out the rest of this episode. There will be a link in the show notes to take you right there. A lot of great information. While you're there, do some poking around. Would you like to hear something special on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less? Shoot me an email, john@thebbqcentralshow.com. That's Jon, John, and I will get it done for you. Thank you so much for checking it out. Until next time on the best moments of the Barbecue Central Show in 10 minutes or less, I'm your host, John Solberg. I look forward to talking to you again soon.